Just before we get into the video, bro, I want to mention that I do one-on-one coaching and I want to help you bring out that young man that I know you can be. I was him, that young man that had no confidence, was bad with girls, no willpower, no discipline, not knowing what to do with my life. I made every excuse under the book and I built myself up by myself with no helping hand. And along that way, I learned the tools, the mindset, the roadmap on how you can do that yourself because I'd done it within me. I want to help launch you up. And with that, I know my coaching's different because we'll be speaking daily. We'll be having weekly one-on-one calls along with that, and you'll have a network of young men all like you wanting to build, support each other, and win. If you want to join my coaching, go to the link in the description and sign up to the second tier or message me on Instagram and we'll change your life. Let's get into the video now, bro. We're living in a time right now, bro, where so many of us young guys, we are being stripped of the ability and the right of passage to even call ourselves men. We're living in a time right now where the modern world is soft, where masculinity is being deemed toxic, it's bad for society, and we're now growing up to be afraid, anxious, depressed, scared, docile, fragile men. And that's scary to say, because if we were to strip most of us down and really take a look at our lives, we don't live masculine lives. We don't live lives fulfilling our natural desires. Our thoughts, our feelings have been skewed to where, well, we know that we ain't what we're meant to be, yet we don't do anything about it. I will tell you that for a long time in my life, I grew up anxious, depressed, scared, docile, afraid, and that ruined me. Because when I looked in the mirror, I knew that I wasn't living naturally to what I've been called. And so many of us guys, we feel that way. Whether you're playing a video game, you know deep down in your heart, in the back of your mind, that this isn't what you're meant to do. You know when you see that pretty girl and it's like, oh, I want to say hello, but you can't do it. There's something wrong with your masculinity. You feel it, you sense it, you sniff it. Yet most of us are still going through life not fulfilling, not being what's naturally called for us to be, men. Well, I've got a few things that I want to lay out for you, bro, that will be labeled as toxic, toxically masculine. Yet I believe this is how you start to build the fortress in your mind, in your body, to become that calibration of man where you are proud of. Because like I said, I grew up with that feeling of, well, I can never be a man. I judge myself so harshly that I'm 5'8", I'm Indian, I grew up in the ghetto, that I could never be a man. That was up until I realized that masculinity is earned, it's not given. Just because we've got a couple of things between our legs doesn't mean that we are men. It's what you do, where you're going, how you act, that really defines your definition and your right to be a man. Because I'll lay it out for you right now. What we're going to speak about in this modern day is labeled as toxic, but good. Because if it's labeled as toxic, then sign me up. Because what's toxic nowadays is just what a man used to be 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Now, I'm going to lay out three things. But the most important thing that I think that we're lacking as a generation is aggression. And I'm not talking about uncontrolled aggression to where you're causing havoc on the streets and you're trying to rob little boys or some crazy stuff like that. I'm talking about controlled aggression. Because most of us don't realize that we have power inside of us. And the most strongest, most capable versions of ourselves is when we're pissed off, when we're angry, when we are, in some form of fight or flight, and we know that, okay, this has gone wrong, but I'm pissed off now. I can fix it. No one's going to stop me. No, nothing's going to get in my way. Most of us don't realize that aggression is power. It's canned energy inside of us that has to be channeled correctly and has the potential to give you every little bit of thing that you're craving or you desire in your life. You can have it through aggression. Most of us think playing the nice guy or running through life and just letting people walk all over us is good. Having this approach of, I'll take it easy, is going to get you what you want. Look, I'm not saying having emotional control doesn't mean that you're, not practicing gratitude or you're not taking time to be in the moment. But being pissed off or being angry at your circumstances, at your financial situation, at the people in your life, what's going on, is perfectly normal. Because that can give you the motivation, the drive, the willpower to get what you want. So there's a few things that I believe most of us can do that will bring out that aggression inside of us so that we can channel that into our business, into our body, into our mind, into our relationships, into ourselves to start an upwards trend. Now, the most important thing that I will say, I mean, you can just take a look at me so you know exactly what I'm going to say, is going to be the gym alongside some form of fighting. This is the most primal, primitive, known to man way of living that is still prevalent in today's society. Take it from me, bro. Growing up in the ghetto for 20, 21 years of my life, I've seen it all. I've seen fights, I've seen murders, I've seen the police coming every other day. And when you really peel back the layers of life, especially the way I grew up and even just the modern day, the final straw of anything will always be a form of violence, a form of fighting, and you need to calibrate yourself as a man to know how to defend yourself, but to also primarily and innately bring out what's already instinctively inside you. So you need to start hitting the gym, start training, start eating more aligned to a carnivore or animal-based diet, fuel yourself with power foods, and then learn how to fight. You can either start learning to shadow box in your room, go sign up to some classes, start punching the bag, watch some YouTube, but do what you can to start living your life congruent of training hard and learning how to fight. With that, and this has been something that I've done in my life to this very moment, is I like to have switch on moments. Now you can look at this in a few ways. It could be a song and you turn yourself on. It could be a deep breath. It could be that you just tell yourself, okay, I'm on now for the next 2 hours. I'm working hard. I'm training hard. I'm doing this. And then I'm going to turn myself off. But you need to switch yourself on and off. And this is a big thing that we need to lay out and get an understanding of. As men, if you want to do anything in your life, do it with 100%. So if you want to be on for a while and you're going to be working hard, you're going to be training hard, okay, cool. If you want to chill and relax, okay, cool. But don't ever be 1 foot in or 1 foot out. But you need to have these switch on moments or these switch on triggers or signals that just, okay, I'm in the zone, I'm here, and nothing's going to stop me for the next hour or for this training session or for this deep work session. I am on. And do it with 110% intensity. So the music I listen to, the way that I speak to myself, the breath that I take, I know, okay, I'm on now and it's time to go. So, bro, I'll tell you, most days I park very far away from my gym. So my gym is like 20, 25 minutes drive away. Cool, great. What I'll do on the way to the gym is I'll listen to like a church sermon. I'll even meditate a little bit. This sounds like cringe, right? But I will. And then I'll park very far away in like the last parking spot or in like a different street. And then I walk to the gym after I already having drove 20, 25 minutes, and then boom, I park far away, and as I'm walking in, the music comes on and I'm there. I'm not there to look at girls. I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to train. I'm trying to train my body to look good. I'm trying to train my mind. I'm trying to build my mental calibration. And that's what I do. And I have that. I know that when I'm about to do a coaching call, I'm about to write my book, or I'm about to film a video, I take a deep breath, I switch on, and boom. Now you'll know what your signals will be. It could be music, could be this, could be that. But have a switch on signal moment that calibrates you to be in the moment, and that can allow you to get that fuel, that aggression out. It's like, okay, I'm here now, let's go. The last point in aggression is that you need to face conflict regularly. So you need to, let's just say, run towards, let's say, conflict. And what I mean by this, a lot of us pussyfoot. We don't stand our ground. We hide. We allow other people to run through us and step on us. And I will lay this out for you that as a man, that person that's bullying you, that situation that you haven't had the balls to stand up towards, whatever it is in your life, you need to look at it directly, face it, and destroy it, resolve it, find the solution. Because as men, the only way to genuinely become stronger, yes, we'll be going to the gym, learning how to fight, we'll be having switch on signals, but we'll also be having a common occurrence of conflict in your life where you have to use your aggression in a way that's controlled to figure out the situation, to sort it out, to fix it. And I will tell you that in my life, my aggression has always served me. Look, there's been points in my life where it's come out and I've not wanted it to. And one of the other points in this video will teach you about how to genuinely control your aggression. But a man that's pissed off can't be stopped. A man that's pissed off and angry and channels that correctly into his body, into his mind, into his empire, that's a man that becomes what he wants. That's a man the government fears. That's the one women want. Like, genuinely. So learn this toxic trait. Learn how to control it, which I will teach you in the later points, and allow this to bring you up as a man. Now, the next point is you need to start competing. And this is a big thing. So become competitive. And in this world, we are given participation trophies. We're given a good job for trying. And it's a joke. This world is binary. It really is dependent on winners and losers. Did you win or did you lose? And you need to get it into your head right now that the world isn't fair. As much as we'd like it to be fair, it's just not. You can build yourself up to where you curate your reality to where it might be a little bit fair at times, and you only allow certain things in and people in your life, so life becomes a little better. But the raw reality of what life is, it's a competition. It's a competition for the money you want. It's a competition for the body you want. It's a competition for the girl you want, the car you want, the house you want, the everything. And you need to get this into your head that as a man, you have it naturally wired in you to compete. When we were coming up in the caveman days, our ancestors knew that the only way that they were going to find a wife, to have resources, to stay alive was to compete. Compete with other men in the tribe, compete with themselves to become the better versions of themselves, to become higher up in the tribe. This is still here to this day. And there's a few things that I want to lay out that, again, I do in my own life. You see, we always hear get 1% better every day, and for years I laughed at that advice. 1%, why not become 100% or 10% or 1,000,000%? But you need to genuinely compete with yourself. And this is big, because we're going to move this out to eventually competing with the world, other men, other people your age, but you need to compete with yourself. And if you start to compound the day-to-day results that you're accomplishing in your own life, you do the one extra rep, you work for one extra couple of minutes, you work, you approach one more baddie, you try this, you do this, you eat more meals that are better for you. If you just continue to compete with yourself and say, I will do better than yesterday and I will not accept anything but better from me, that'll change the fucking game for who you become, what your life becomes, what you have. You'll see that every day if you just completely ruthlessly get better, do more, become more, take more action, you'll start to cultivate a life, you'll start to build your mind, you'll start to see the results all from getting better. And that is going to war with the man in the mirror. But then with that, it's not enough at times to just be in competition with yourself. Because as you are getting better and you are trying, don't ever forget that there's a young man in another country that has it worse than you, who's working harder than you, who's making more progress than you, more money than you, who's got a girlfriend or a hotter girlfriend, has got the car you want, and he's genuinely trying, and he's making moves. There are other men that you're in competition with that eventually, if you slow down, you go on a downward spiral, you lose momentum, he'll take the life that you want and you'll just think he got lucky, but no, he outworked you. So you have to start facing the world as, okay, shit, I got to compete with myself, I got to compete with the world as well. So this is big. And this is naturally wired inside of us to compete as men. The next thing is that you need to start calibrating your life to where competition is all around you. So make competition all around. And this might sound funny, but you could look at this as the games you play. And I'm not saying you're playing Call of Duty. I'm saying you're playing strategic games like chess. I'm saying that you are genuinely learning how to fight, and you're in combat and you're in war. I'm saying that if you start to breed your life to where the men around you, you're in friendly rivalries against them, right? Your friend just done a 10 kilometer run, you have to do 10.5. Your friend just made $5,000 in a month, you have to make 6. If you start getting into this competition with men around you, and if your friends aren't like this and you need some new friends, G, you need to have your life, in a sense, be a big competition. Because it really is. So make your life, the games you play, the people you talk to, your whole life, this big competition. Get better than the man you were yesterday. Compete with the whole world. Make your whole life based around competition. And this will be your baseline to where, you're naturally just bringing out something inside you. And that's what the world hates. The world hates a man that's competitive. The world hates a man that will push someone else over to get what he wants. It's savage. But we do live in a jungle. And when you look at the real jungle, a lion doesn't care if it's a baby deer he wants. If the deer he's chasing is missing a leg. If it's a female. If it's the man. If he's missing an eye. The lion will just go after what he wants because he's hungry. And it has to be you. It really has to, bro. Because otherwise another lion will come and you'll be the deer and he doesn't care. If you're missing an eye or you're missing a leg or you're young, he doesn't give a shit. He's coming. So really listen to that. And the last point with this, bro, is that you need to have something that if you need to raise the stakes in your life. So I want you to have something that if, let's say it like this, no safety net. And this is a big thing. Because right now, most of you have a plan A, you have a plan B, you have a plan C, you have a plan D, you have a plan E. And when you start to really go through life with all of these backup plans, you're never fully in. You need to look at your life and say, this business idea, this way of living, this or that. This is what I'm in for, nothing else. I don't care. If something does happen eventually, I'll figure it out then, but I'm all in. And go all in and don't have a safety net. All these safety nets of, plan C, plan D, plan E is bullshit. It's because you don't believe in yourself. But if you want something, compete and then have nothing else have nothing else that you can fall back on so that you don't think, I don't have to give this a go. No, you have to figure it out because there's nothing else to go back to. The last point, and this ties off the first one, which I did say aggression. But this is a big thing that I want you to remember. As a man, stoicism is huge. And stoicism to me is controlling your emotions. And what I say right at the start, controlled aggression. Well, stoicism to me has played a massive part in, shaping me. Because my whole life, bro, I was in violent situations. I was abused, I've been bashed up. Bro, I've been through the ringer of life. Trust me, I have. I've seen it all, I've had it happen to me, and I get it. And that has calibrated me in a way to, have two versions of living. I was emotionally reactive, and I've also become a man who is emotionally controlled. When I was emotionally reactive, bro, I was punching the wall all the time. I was kicking up a storm. I was fighting with people. Bro, if you know my nature, especially back in the day, I was that guy. I was that cat. But now I've become controlled. I look at situations. I try my best not to react. It's always going to be, through those experiences that when you're tested and you pass the test, you get better. So more experience equals more calibration. But you need to remain stoic. You need to become a man that can control his emotions. And I'm going to give you a few things that I do to do this. The most important one that I've done in my life is reflect. So every single day what I do is I voice record how my day has gone. Now, I don't just say, oh, I woke up and I went to the gym and I did this and I brushed my teeth. I talk to myself because most of my days is always filled with something. Whether I have a coaching call, whether something happens at my home, whether I'm at work, whether I'm doing this, I'm doing that, something happens. Something always tests me. Most days I'm being tested in my emotional control in my life. And I reflect on that. I say it to my journal through voice recording, and then I re-listen to it. And what I do is I reflect back on, okay, yeah, maybe far out, bro. Maybe if it wasn't my day and I was tired and all this happened and I didn't win that day, well, I would tell myself, you fucked up. You messed up, bro. And you have to fix this. And listening to my own voice telling me that I made a mistake and I reacted wrongly or I did this or I did that, that calibrates me. That makes me learn. And I hear it from my own voice and it's actually kind of scary. So you need to start reflecting. Reflect on your wins and reflect on your losses. And you'll learn more about yourself, listening to yourself and reflecting on the things that you know that you should have done better. And that'll calibrate you to become, well, hold on. I made that mistake before. I made it many a times. I don't want to make it again. And then because you've reflected on it, you'll catch yourself the next time it happens and you'll be able to take a deep breath, don't react, and figure out what's going on and how to react. Okay? So with that, it's always, and this does tie off what I just said, but it's pause. Now, this has been something for me, has changed the game. Look, even at my job, even in my business, I have to learn to pause before I speak, before I react. I have to think. And I will tell you that pausing before any situation or before you make an irrational decision or you say something you don't mean or whatever, or you do something you don't want to do, take a second, think, okay, is that going to serve me? Is that just going to make the situation worse? And most times when you're in a place where, things are heated, what you're going to do is more than likely going to stir the pot. It's going to make it worse. But learn to pause, reflect, look at the situation, shut your mouth, and see what can you do in this moment that will de-escalate or that will solve the situation on hand or what's happening. So pause. You can pause by taking a breath. You can literally pause by looking at the situation. You can pause by just taking a step back. Just stop for a second and reevaluate what you're about to do and ask yourself, will this help me or will it not? The next thing is I will tell you, and this is a big thing, is your role models. And you can take a look at a young man like me and you can say, well, I like Christopher. He knows what he's talking about. He means what he says. He's controlled. He's been through it. He's genuinely about it. You can be like, oh, well, I should listen to it. And if not, you can find role models. You can read books. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to people and take a little bit from this guy, take a little bit from me, take a little bit of that guy, and become your own man. But you have to surround yourself, listen to, curate your reality to where the people around you are not only masculine, they are controlled. Because, well, masculinity and emotional control go hand in hand. A man that's always irrational, acts on his emotions, is a very weak, fragile man. A lot of people will say that that's a broken man when he's always reacting. So you need to surround yourself, listen to, fuel yourself with the right people, the right things, so that you always stay poised and composed, so that in your life you're, getting to where you're trying to get in a way that you're not acting like a little bitch. These things though nowadays, right? Being angry or being aggressive, being competitive, and even being stoic are toxically masculine. These are traits, bro, that we aren't being pushed to bestow upon ourselves as young men. We're being taught to act on our emotions. We're being taught to slow down. We're being taught to calm down, to be soft, to be nice guys. No. If you want anything in this world, listen to what I had to teach you, bro, in this video. Instill it in yourself. And if you want to, let's do some coaching. I have accountability networks of young men all working to get better, to build themselves up. And I offer one-on-one coaching directly every day with accountability to help you become that man that you want to be. So you can either go to the link in the description, sign up to the second tier, or message me on Instagram and we'll get started. Love you, brother. I mean that.